आपने जब मार्केट करना शुरू किया होगा तो आपको दिखा होगा कि इसकी एक्सेप्टेंस, आई थिंक जो बिकना शुरू हुआ वो रिमोट वाला पंखा, दैट वाज व्हाट एक्चुअली वाज द हुक दैट वर्क.
So that was a lot of long struggle. So I think November 2015 is when we produced our first set of fans.
Okay.
And naturally we went to the offline stores, right? Because that's where 90% of the fans sold, and there was absolutely zero acceptance. So
on day one, your focus was in offline first kind of a model.
No, there was no focus at that point. At that point, you were just figuring out, right? कि wherever you get sales, जहाँ से भी आपका number आता है. तो we went to a lot of offline counters in Bombay, and the first feedback was saying कि ये product तो नहीं बिक सकता है. So you.
और ऐसा किस वजह से? Like why?
The reason was it was expensive. So the product was priced at around 3,500.
That is very
normally fans used to sell in the price point of 1,500 to 1,600 rupees at that. So even the average selling price was in that range.
And that logic doesn't play that you will save that much money in 1 year.
That is one thing. Second is the brand was unknown, right?
Yes.
So the moment the brand is unknown, the product is expensive.
Absolutely.
And so it's a. And then we realized it is impossible to crack offline at this point. मतलब हमने बहुत ज़्यादा try भी नहीं किया. मतलब by speaking to 7 to 10 retailers, we understood that there was zero interest, and we understood that this is not the starting point. This cannot be the starting point. Then we went back and said that now like we have a product which has a value proposition for some people. Now we need to figure out who those people are. Incidentally, we also stumbled upon, because we were speaking to a lot of people. Intuitively, it made sense that your early clients will be B2B clients, people who have a lot of fans. So we started reaching out to a lot of schools, colleges, hospitals, industries. Finally, we stumbled upon a cluster of industries in Saurashtra. It was a ceramic industry.
Okay.
So in ceramic industry, what happens is every industry, so there's usually small scale industries, every industry will have some 1,000 fans. The reason they have fans is you have the ceramic, right? You
need to dry.
So the ceramic drying happens in open shades.
वो अच्छा खासा cost भी होता होगा उन लोगों का.
And for them, one of their biggest raw material cost was electricity. And there you could bring the logical sense saying कि you buy this fan.
वहाँ ये USP fitment, product fitment is very high basically.
So later on we realized that there's a term for this called a beachhead segment, saying that this is a segment which is the easiest for you
to get into.
Yes.
Initial product market fit में ऐसा segment ढूंढना अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा challenge
होता है. That's a discovery. Usually that's a discovery.
But it can take months, it can take years.
Yeah. So we discovered that in 2-3 months, and the thing was, the moment we discovered it, we said, okay, now for the next 1 year, I don't need to do anything else.
Because it was big enough for you.
Because it was big enough, it is a cluster.
True.
So in that cluster, there were some 100 industries which were there. We got 2-3 big industries, and then slowly and gradually word of mouth kicked in. So we put our sales team there, we put our service team there, and our whole intention for the first 1.5 years was to dominate that cluster, get sales from that cluster.
That's a very right strategy actually, not to lose the focus.
Yes. So I think for the first 1.5 years we did this. Idea was always to build a consumer brand, because 90% of fans sold in India are bought by consumers for their homes.
And this market wasn't big enough?
No, this is a very small market.
But generally you enter into a dilemma like we expanded globally rather than moving to...
No.
You were very clear. It's a small niche kind of a market.
Yeah, it's there only in Saurashtra. It's not even there in any place else.
Then it becomes very small market.
It's a very small market. So we expanded into a lot of adjacent markets. Say for example, hospitals, schools.
But B2B colleges. Was the first play that you basically gave you that lift.
For the first 2 years, I think 90%, 95% of our business was coming from B2B.
And the fitment was around this core USP of 60% energy saving basically.
So every fan used to save 1,500 rupees per year.
Yes.
And we used to provide 3 years of warranty.
Okay.
And the fan was sold around 3,000 rupees. So whatever you pay, you make it back in 2 years. And because we are anyways giving 3 years of warranty, so the client
became a very interesting proposition.
It became a very, and there was no competition in the market. So we were the only product. So there was not a lot of price pressure and all those things. And because we're also giving good service and all of those, slowly word also spread that we have a reliable product and all.
So you were also able to basically replace existing infra for these companies, because that becomes very difficult. One is someone is looking out for it, but then the growth will be slow. But if you are able to replace it, then nothing like it.
We were able to do it, replace. I think, of course, new constructions were easier.
Yes.
But even replacements started.
Because the logic was there in place. The money you will invest here, you will recover in 2 years, basically.
So I think for the first 2.5 years, we did this. But again, we are very clear saying that B2B is just a path to
get to B2C.
To get to where we want to as an organization. And 2016 is when we first listed our product on Amazon.